He left me. He left me.
Oh yeah,
I can't believe he left
Angie,
me.
it's okay now. Stop.
Angie, your life is finished. Your life is finished.
Your life is not finished. Your life is not finished. Stop being so dramatic.
Why won't I be dramatic? Why won't I be dramatic? Do you know everything I did for that guy? I cooked for him, Didi. I paid some of his bills.
You paid his what?
I said I paid from my pocket. I took care of his mother. And the sex. We had so much sex. There was weird positions. I was upside down in the nightmares.
I'm sorry.
He told me we were friends with benefits. Benefits.
Another thing that pissed me off, that I only picked up on much later on, was the way housework was framed differently for Angie and Didi. Angie is Didi's fat best friend, carrying on in the fat best friend trope that is as old as the movies. Don't worry, we'll dive into the treatment of the fat best friend somewhere in this clip. Right at the beginning of the film, one of the first scenes we see Angie in is her wailing in her apartment after getting dumped by her boyfriend, who apparently thought they were just friends with benefits. Angie has a long list of complaints talking about all the things she did for him. Chief among her complaints are 1, she cooked for him, 2, she paid his bills, 3, she sent his mother money, and 4, she engaged in lots of acrobatic sex with him. I cover the sex bit in the Fat Best Friend section as well. For now, let's talk about the cooking for him. When Didi does it, it's framed as good and feminine, yet when Angie does it, it's not. One of the reasons for this is the fact that women are discouraged from doing wifely duties for men who haven't wifed them. Yet Didi isn't married either, so why is it right in her case and wrong in Angie's case? I guess the argument can be made that Raj wants to marry Didi, but Angie's fella said no such thing. Even if this is the case, men become deserving of and entitled to women's labor through marriage. Is that really the lesson here? If he marries you or promises to marry you, then you get to perform unpaid labor for him? It's all about putting a ring on it, is it? That's some bullshit. I think the film suggests that good, serious men who are committed to you and want to marry you deserve your labor, have earned your labor. It also suggests that Angie does not have good judgment and she's just philandering out here, giving her labor and sexual goodies to everyone, not the deserving few. There's fat phobia somewhere there. I just know it. Regardless of what society insists on telling us, women are not worthy or valuable because of their ability to perform gender as society has structured it. My personal thing is, I will only be in a relationship with somebody who is my partner. If they don't do housework, a substantive amount of housework, then they're not my partner. They may be my boyfriend, a husband even. I don't know. But they're not my partner. And I'm only interested in going through life with a partner. So, these boots were made for walking. And that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. I'd like to close with the words of the revolutionary Thomas Sankara on women and unpaid labor in the home. In his book, Women's Liberation and the African Freedom Struggle, which is a transcription of a speech he gave, he said some radical things about women's position in society, especially as pertains to marriage and labor. Talking about men exploiting women, he says, quote, women became the body, his conquest and trade. He profited from their labor power and took his fill from the myriad of pleasures they afforded him. Of women, he says, quote, relegated to the role of child raiser and servant, woman shared the lot of a slave, who in slave society was nothing more than a beast of burden with a human face. He talks about how little girls are forced very early on into this labor when boys their age are still allowed to play and enjoy their childhood. Quote, she, the little girl, with little ceremony, will enter into production. She already has a trade, assistant housewife. It is an occupation without pay since, as is generally said, a housewife does nothing. She will pay a heavy price for having been born female. On housework, he says, quote, and what about housework? This all-consuming, brutalizing work that has a tendency to turn you women into robots and leave no time or energy to think. This is why we need resolute action directed towards men and at implementing at a large scale networks of social services such as nurseries, daycare centers, and cafeterias. This would allow women to more easily take part in revolutionary debate and action. Men and women will from now on share all the tasks in the home. This was Burkina Faso in the 80s, with Thomas Sankara saying men and women will from now on share all the tasks in the home. There is no revolution without the liberation of women. Long live Thomas Sankara, long live. There is no revolution without the liberation of women. Long live Thomas Sankara, long live.